Hello, demons. Me here again. I made a thumbnail because I figured this what if deserved it. And yeah. So, first, before we start the what if, I'm gonna give you a check up on all the what ifs. There is only one what if that will be being discontinued. Well, not discontinued, more like being finished after the next part. It is the what if Belle had the unique symbiote. Yes. It's a long what if, and I figure any what if with that many parts can't last very much longer. So, the next part of that what if will be its final part. Now, all other what ifs will be being continued, and the unique tailed beast, the exiled tailed beast Deku, that will be put on hold until ASMA gets his phone repaired. Or another one because it's beyond repair, the audio port. Yeah, but till then, yes. Oh yeah, and I made this thumbnail and I added one new feature. I gave nagisa the sharingan in the thumbnail. That's a new thing that's new for me. You know, broadening my skill range. Now, oh yeah, for everybody that doesn't know, there is a link in the description of the channel. Go join the Discord. And if you try to join the Discord and it doesn't work, message me through comments. And when I see your comment, I'll hit you up. Now, this episode, part 1, is going to be mainly about Nagisa's backstory and a bit into the anime. Okay, so alright. When Nagisa was 3, his father left him because of his abnormal eyes. His eyes have always been red. When he was born, his eyes were red. But his parents' eyes were both blue. Now, he knew that his wife was not cheating on him. He was a very religious man, though, but she wasn't. He's a very religious man, and when he saw the boy's red eyes, he called him the devil, right out of the womb. But because he was his son and he loved his wife, he stayed for 3 years. No, let's make it 6 years. Yeah. So yeah, Nagisa was 6. He stayed for 6 years, but Nagisa's in January of Nagita's 6th year of being alive, he snapped. He was never kind to Nagisa. He beat him with belts, broken beer bottles, because after being, he was very religious person, but after seeing Nagisa, being around him so much, he got into drinking. Nagisa was 5, and now Nagisa's 6. So Nagisa's been butchered with beer bottles, hailed at him by his father. His mother has forced him to wear a skirt to school, and he's not allowed to cut his hair. His jet black hair. And one day, he comes home from school, and as soon as he walks in the door, a beer bottle is hurled at him. He dodges as with a 1 to Sharingan, because one day at school, this is a flashback, when he was 5 at school, and he had his clothes on, a group of girls grabbed him by his hair and started yanking it out. As let's say there were 5 of them, they picked him up by his arms and legs and head, and they dragged him to the back of the school. They were 5-year-olds, so they weren't incredibly strong, but they managed to drag him back. and they kick the living shit out of him. Now, Nagisa's always been smart, so he knew that if he tried to resist, they'd hurt him even more. So while he was taking the beating, he thought, if my mom would want to make me wear this dumb outfit, I wouldn't be going through this abuse every day. As he starts to cry, and the once in a sharingan appears, he suddenly feels stronger, faster, and I'm sorry about that. I have to pause this. Okay, I feel like I won't be interrupted now. And his reflexes feel more sharper. As he sees a foot coming towards his face, he swipes it away. As he, let's say he was up against the wall. Let's say they were kicking from both of his sides and his head, and he was up against the wall. So he pushed his foot off as his head, and he clotheslined the girl's feet. She fell to the ground, hitting her head. As he jumped up, let's say he's fighting with open hands. Let's say, you know how he would use hands to swim? He's fighting like that. As the girls are throwing punches at him, he's swapping to the side. They're seeing his eyes, and they're scared, calling him freak. And one of them kicks him in the junk. They grab his arms, and they beat him till he's bloodied and tattered. Let's say because there were 5 of them, and he knew if he hurt them, he'd get in trouble with his parents and the principal. So yeah. So he could have pushed them off with his strength and ran away, but he knew that they'd turn it on him if they didn't feel like they teach him a lesson. So yeah. Now back to the present. There's a beer bottle flying at Nagisa, and instinctively he's been training with the Wantamoe, and instinctively he opens his hand, arches his fingers forward, and as the bottle's flying, he reaches up with it in midair, grabs the bottle, and swings it back down. He has it in his hand. As his father sees this, his eyes are open, staring right at him. He knew he was throwing the bottle. He's not even that drunk. As he looks up and he sees the boy's eyes. Wantamoe. His pupils get smaller, like in a shock state, as he backs away, and Nagisa's mom comes out. Nagisa's mom cares about him, but she addresses him as a her. So yeah. Oh yeah, Nagisa doesn't have any boy clothes. I know I'm making this sound really weird, but I'm making Nagisa's backstory kind of shitty. It's what he can't be overpowered if I'm giving him backstory. So yeah. She pats his head and tells him to drop the bottle. She looks into his eyes and says, "Oh, we have to take you to a doctor." They take him to a doctor. Nagisa's dad didn't come, and she takes him to a doctor. As he arrives at the emergency room, the doctors take him in. He's a high priority subject, as they're examining him. They take some blood samples, and he doesn't feel the needles puncture him, but they did. It seems he's gained pain nullification as well. And as they're taking the blood samples, they do some scans on his eyes. It appears that he has a rare hereditary disease called Kamui. Yeah, Kamui. He's not gonna have the Kamui ability, he just has Kamui. It's a disease that makes it impossible for you. Gives the patient the ability to change their eyes at will from either 1, 2, or 3 tomoes. Under stress or pain or intense emotion, the disease will heighten and it'll evolve into a new tomoe. If it ever evolves into what we call Mangekyo state, it's a high priority state in which it can cause blindness. So it's best for him to regulate his heart rate and emotions and not be stressed. That is what the doctor told his mom. But they're going through Nagisa's blood cells and they're noticing something weird. He's much too strong for a 7-year-old boy. No, I think he was 6. No, 7. Well, if I'm making him 6, he's 7. But yeah, he's much too strong for a 7-year-old boy, and his eyes can track a fly's movement. His eyes can track. Not air particle. His eyes can track one bee through a hornet's nest. No, one hornet in a hornet's nest. And he can keep his eyes focused on one. Because they did that test, in the eye test. So he goes home being good. Just don't be under stressful situations. They go home, and when they arrive, Jesus, I don't think I'd be interrupted. So when they arrive home, I'm sorry for the interruptions, guys. When they arrive home, Nagisa is in his room. No, not in his room. Yeah, Nagisa's in his room, and he's playing with toy blocks. He let it go when he was 3. They're chipped, and they give him splinters fairly often, but it's the only toy he has. Dogs, goddamn dogs. They're the only toys he has. So yeah, as he's playing with his bricks, he hears his mother and father yelling, "No, you are not taking her. I will not let you. He is a monster. He is Satan himself. She is not. She is an angel." She says she because when she addresses him as he, she will fucking beat him with a belt. So whenever she says, "young man," he knows he's in for something. So yeah, as he's saying, "No, I refuse to live with this monster anymore." I'll respond to him later. I refuse to live with that monster anymore. I'm getting my bags. As she says, "Oh no, you're not. Watch me." As Nagisa hears a loud bang, and and then a thump. As he walks out of his room to see his mom holding a bloody knife and his father's corpse. As she says, "Nagisa, honey, come here, please." He's walking out with tears in his eyes as his eyes evolve into the two tomoe sharingan. And she says, "No, no, 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 honey, don't feel sad. He was gonna leave you anyway." He's still crying, but then the tears stop, and his body turns cold. He has now gained the ability to regulate his body temperature, and he no longer cries because his body notices that as a loss of hydration. Sorry for the background noise. Yes, but he no longer cries, and he can regulate his body temperature. So, as he says, "Oh, good." So yes, as she says, "Good, you stopped crying. Come here, sweetie." He walks over to, hugs her. he's in fear right now. He knows that if he disobeys his mom, this could happen to him. And right now, his intelligence is about. I believe I made him. He's 7 right now. Yeah. He has the intelligence of a 14-year-old. So he's not irrational like a teenager. He's thinking about this. He has the deduction skills of a master. So yes, as his mom hugs him and says, "Okay, honey, go get your dress on. Go get your dress on in a hoodie. We're gonna go get rid of this." She smiles as she grabs 5 trash bags. She goes into the garage, gets a chainsaw, and she cuts him in half. She bags up all the remains. She double bags half of the body, and then whatever was left, blood-wise, she is in the other trash bag. She rounds it all up. Nagisa and her in the car. They're driving down to the dump as they dump their father in the dump. He's now with the garbage. As they drive home, she says, "Okay, honey, this is our fresh start." And then they moved to where the anime takes place. I'm not exactly sure what town. Nagisa is 7, and he's going to school, and he has to do Tomoe. He understands how to turn it on and off now. And he also knows how to, and he also keeps his body temperature low in the summers and high in the winters. Currently, it is summer, and his mom makes him go to summer school, and a boy walks up to him. He says, "Hey, cutie, want to go out sometime?" Nagisa says, "Sorry, pal, not a girl." "What? What do you mean? You're wearing a skirt. You know this is a uniform-based school, right?" "Yeah, my mom makes me wear this. She wanted a girl." Nagisa says, "Why am I getting Nagisa thinks, why am I telling this guy this? He doesn't need to know." Karma, it's Karma. Karma says, "Oh, it's rough to be you, man. So you want to hang out sometime?" "Dude, I'm a guy." I know that. I'm just bored. I was gonna ask you if you want to go on a date, but you want to go to the arcade?" Nagisa sighs and says, "Sure." As they say, "So, see you at 4, I guess?" Nagisa says, "I can't. My mom makes me." "You know what? We see each other at 5. You meet me at the park at 5, and I'll tell you what. And I'll tell you why I can't meet you at 4." Okay. Karma says, "Deal." So Nagisa finishes his classes at 3. Let's say that because it's summer prep school, it goes off your intelligence and how you do on a standardized test. Nagisa doesn't want his mom to expect the world from him, and when he gives less, he gets beaten. So Nagisa keeps his grades too low. But what he does is, he uses his sharingan to, I guess, eliminate and enhance certain senses. He also designates certain senses to certain places. So what he does is, he uses his ear. He completely shuts off his eyes and uses his ears. And he listens to the motion of the chalk on the chalkboard and visualizes it in his mind. He listens to what the teacher in the next room is saying, because they go right. This is a multi-grades thing, so they're right next to the college prep school students. So yeah, so that's what they're doing, and what do I do? So yeah, he designates his ears, and he deletes his taste, smell, and eyes. So yeah, his eyes are still open and he still blinks, but he can't see. But his ears are off the charts. He is able to mimic everything. And this is thanks to his sharingan. This is also something he got when he eliminated his need to cry. It is called sense regulation. Now, he finishes his classes and he goes home. And he arrives to see his mom at the table, drinking tea. It says, Nagisa, you know what day it is. It's Thursday. It's Friday, and you know what happens on Fridays. He says, yes, I know, mother. Now, this is not technically... Wait, what? I didn't think I specified Nagisa's age. Nagisa is... I forget how old they are in the anime. So I'm going to say that they're high school courses. Okay, so I'm going to say that they're college prep students in Assassination Classroom. And that's what they go to study. So I'm going to say that, they're 18. No, yeah, I'm going to say that they're 18 then. So Nagisa is currently summer school. Oh, and if you're wondering why Karma was in summer school, he is currently a math whiz, and he's not like super. I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you right now. So yeah, so how old's Nagisa again? I'm not trying to do anything like with Nagisa at this point, but let's say Nagisa's 12, and he's in elementary school, but the last grade, and he's applying for the highest grade middle school, which is the school they go to in the anime. I don't know what it's called, but yeah, he is currently in summer prep school for that. So he's 12, and what he does is he takes off his skirt and his shirt to reveal a flannel, and you know the things the Japanese use for swimming, the swimsuits. Yeah, I don't want to say it, but he's pretty much wearing girls' underwear, and he's gotten used to this. So his mom says, "Okay, come over here." He walks over to his mom. She sets down her tea, put two hands on his shoulders, and she says, "What are you?" "I am Nagisa." I don't know how to say his last name. If you do know how to say his last name, sound it out for me in the comments. But yeah, what are you? He says, "Who are you?" She says, "Who are you?" "I am Nagisa." Last name insert here. "I am Nagisa, a 12th grader, a 12-year-old in." I'm a 12th grader. I'm a 12-year-old in 6th grade, going to blah blah academy, elementary school. I'm currently in summer school activities, and she says, "What are you?" And he says, instinctively, right off the top of his head, "I am male." And her eyes go kind of dark, and she says, "What?" I mean female. No, go back one. His eyes go kind of dark as he says, "I'm sorry, mother." He takes off his shirt, turns around, as she opens up a drawer next to where her table is, and she pulls out 3 items: a whip, a taser. What else? A whip, a taser, and pressure point needles. Now, while she has these, she says, "Okay, now." As she says, "Get on the ground." He lays flat on the ground, stomach back up, as she beats the ever-leveling shit out of Nagisa with a whip. Nagisa's back was already scarred from all the lashings she's gotten, and as he's getting hit with this whip, it stings like hell. He got small pain resistance, but nothing compared to this. This is excruciating pain physically and mentally. He's being beaten with the whip over and over again, and his back is now bloodied and tattered. As she says, okay then. As she grabs her tea and pours on Nagisa's back, as she picks up the taser and electrocutes his back muscles. This temporarily paralyzes him as he's laying on the floor. She picks him up and brings him to a room in their house it's in the garage, but it's like a cellar that she dug herself. She brings him down to the cellar and sets him on a iron table, steel, like a stainless steel table. As she does this, she pulls out her needles, and this isn't very PG-13 of me, but fuck it, I'm not in it for the money. She pulls out her needles, tears off his pants. He can see everything, by the way. He's paralyzed. It's like sleep paralysis. She rips off his pants and his underwear as she uses the pressure point needles to, what's it called? What's it called when you can? I think it's cortessionist, but I know it's not. Well, she used the needles to make it to where his dick bends a certain way, and it can go inside of his body. So it's extremely painful for Nagisa, though. So right now it's like it looks like he has no gender, and what she does is she gets the tightest pair of women's underwear, and what she did was she sprayed it down with elastic, like so it doesn't break, and his dick can't pop out when the stuff wears off. So it looks like he's genderless right now. This is his punishment for calling himself a male, by the way. I know this is really dark and weird, but yeah. He does that, and this is the 10th time this has happened over the span of 6 years. It takes him a long time to forget this. So, oh, by the way, every Friday is his evaluation mentally. And that little conversation with Karma made him slip up. So, as this is happening, also, she uses Gorilla Glue to tape the underwear to him. So, yeah. And the tip is where is facing outwards, so he can still use the bathroom, but he has to sit down to do it. So, yeah. Also, his mother plans on getting him gender transplant surgery, but she needs the will of two parents to do that, and since they never got divorced, she can't till he is confirmed dead. So currently, she's trying to find a way to have the body found after 6 years. But yeah, she finishes her thing as she removes the needles, puts the special underwear on him. She says, okay then, you have 45 minutes. We know what's next. He said, as the paralysis starts to wear off, and he says, okay, mother. With near dead eyes. As she brings him up to her room and puts on a rubber shirt over his back. It's peach to match his skin color, and it is like it's a short sleeve shirt, so it's made to where if someone sees his back, it won't work. So yeah. Okay, so yeah. This is the 10th time this has happened, so he will not get a sharingan made from this. Okay, so she spends 15 minutes putting that on him because it's really hard to get on because how tight it is. Like, she can't put it on, it's that tight. So after doing that, what she does is she checks his eyes, making sure there's not another tip in my way, because she was iffy about doing it the first time. But yeah, as she does that, she gives him antidepressants, and yeah, and it makes it to where he won't feel the emotion of sadness, because she noticed that sadness is usually what triggers the tamoys. She doesn't know what gave him his first time, but she eventually figured out that some girls beat him up for calling him a, and then he stops the sentence for saying he was too girly. His mom patted his head then and said, "You'll never be too girly." I know this is really dark and weird, but it works. Trust. But yeah, she spends that 15, and there's a half an hour. No, let's say she's talked 30 minutes to do the contortions. No, contortionist, that's what it was called. Yeah, so the pressure point contortionist. And that's experimental. That could really hurt in the future, but it won't, because it's plot armor. But yeah, so after that, he has 15 minutes to do. He has 15 minutes for his mom. What she does is she makes him wear dresses and sports bras with extra pads to make it look like he's more and more like a girl. And yeah. So that happens. And now it's over, and his mom makes him go out. His mom makes him go out wearing a skirt and, let's say, she uses the same kind of latex thing to cover the pads on his bra. This is really weird for me because I don't like talking about this kind of stuff, but I'm doing it for the anime. So yeah, she makes him wear that as she says, "Okay, have fun," and the hour's up. Now, he walks about 5 miles away and goes to the back of a dumpster, moves the dumpster, and in the back of the dumpster where the bricks usually are, there's a hole with about 3 bags. He grabs one of the bags and switches into some boys' clothes, and puts the girl clothes in the bag. Now, after that, he goes to meet Karma at the playground. He walks up and says, "Hey, Karma, so sorry for making you wait. It's about 5 minutes past." He says, "No problem. I got here like a minute ago." It's still big. "So what were you doing? You said you'd tell me." "Oh yeah, I didn't think you'd actually come." He he says, "My mom makes me wear dresses in the house for a show, because he doesn't want to reveal his past, because he knows his mom would be hella pissed. Like, I'm talking 24 hours of that shit." So, yeah. He says, "That's kind of weird." He says, "No, it's good." And then Karma says, "Well, at least you're not wearing them now. She let you out of the house like that? She let you out. At least she's not that strict to, like, make you wear that kind of stuff in public." Nagisa puts his hand in the back side and says, "Yeah." As they say, "So, arcade?" Arcade. So they go to the arcade, and they're playing asteroids. As he says, "You know, you're kind of cool." As I'm sorry, I was thinking of it in my head, like the scene. And he says, "You too, Squirt," as he pats him on the head. And they finish up the game. As Karma says, "Ooh, I know another arcade like a block or two away that has some of the newer games. Oh, that cool. Like what? Fortnite, Ghost Recon. No, I'm kidding. Like I'm gonna say that their games are like way old fashioned." He says, It's like it's like I'm gonna just say that I'm trying to think of they don't make many box games for arcades anymore. Um, I'm gonna say that Pac-Man's new, and that's what he says. They go running, as in the alleyway. They're stopped by 3 girls. As they say, "Hey Nagisa, saw you in the arcade. Figured we'd say hi." They look at Nagisa and smile. "So how is your mom, Nagisa?" As 2 other girls come jumping out, and one of them hits Carmen in the back of the head with a pipe. The other one has a rope, and he ties them zip ties, and they tie Karma's thumbs together with the zip ties. There's no rope. Alright, and then they start talking to Nagisa says, "No, leave him alone." As the girl whacks him upside the face with the bullet pipe. "No, you." As she's beating him in the back with the pipe over and over again. He grabs the pipe and toots noise in his eyes as he throws it. One of the girls then kicks him in the face. He knows that because of his age, if he hurts one of them badly enough, he'll go to jail for a long time because of the fact that he's injuring a female, and it's assault. It's assault, and then it's assaulting a female. It's also illegal. So he's taking the beating over and over again. Actually, there was a rope. Let's say there was a rope, but the girl had zip ties, and she used that. No, actually, let's say that one of the girls grabs a bike chain from a dumpster and smacks Nagisa in the back with it. Karma's just now waking up, and I'm gonna say that she hit him so hard that it went through his clothes and the elastic. So because of how tight the elastic was, it snapped, revealing his whole back. And Karma sees this and says, "What the fuck?" Seeing all Nagisa's scars, the girls back up for a second and say, "What happened to you? We know you're a fucking Tom girl, but God." They drop the pipe and say, "You're not even worth it at this point. You're a half-dead monkey." He stands up and spits out blood and says nothing. As Karma says, "No, you fucking get back here," and then he busts out the zip ties. "No, you get back here. You don't get to talk to him like that." They say, "What?" "We don't care about you. We just came to visit our old friend Nagisa." As he says, "Karma, it's okay," touching, grabbing his shoulder, and he says, "No, it's not. Not only do they make fun of you, not only do they clearly know you, and they're still making fun of you." What? And by the sound of it, they had no repercussions for what they did. Did your father not step in? Nagisa says, "It's enough, Karma, please." "No, it's not. I don't care. Not only did they beat the living shit out of you, but they also attacked me for being around you. You are not a bad person." Nagisa says, "It's okay, Karma." "No, it's not. Karma, stop. We do not know each other well enough for you to be sticking it for me." Karma turns back with a burning passion in his eyes and says, "I don't care if we don't know each other very well. I can tell by spending 2 hours with you, you are a great person." I'm not telling you this shit. I forgot what it was. I'm gonna say, yeah. Karma's still yelling at the girls as they say, "You don't know this little freak has the weirdest disorder." And she says, "Just look at his eyes." Let's say that because of Karma mentioning his dad, he has the Tutameli activated. Karma sees it and says, "So, because he can change his eyes, that doesn't mean anything. All it means is he has that weird ability. Has an ability. Contortionist. I know I bring up contortionist a lot, but contortionists can bend their bones. Some people even have extra joints in their hands. Just because he can change his eyes does not mean he's a monster." Because of this, the girls walk away and say, "Whatever. That doesn't mean we'll change our minds." As Nagisa's eyes turn to 3 Tameli, and he starts crying. He says, "I didn't think I could do this anymore." Karma looks back and says, "What do you mean? Cry?" As he hugs Karma and says, "Thank you." I want to say brother, but I thought that'd be kind of weird. Thank you, bro. As he pats his head and says, "Spoke from the heart, that's about it." They both giggle and say, "So let's go to that arcade." "Nah, we need to get you some clothes first." As Karma says, "Here, take my jacket." Nagisa puts on Karma's jacket as they go to a store, and they get Nagisa some drip. They got Nagisa black shirt, good jeans, a pair of nice let's say dress shoes. Yeah, they got dress shoes. Dress shoes and a hella dope coat, jacket, whatever you want to say. As he says, "Come on, let's go." Now, yeah, they're walking down the street, and Karma asks why he doesn't cut his hair. Well, my mom wouldn't approve, if you know what I mean. He says, "Oh, it's that bad?" "She said this because I slipped up and said the wrong word. That's why this punishment is. It's worse if I try to fix my mistake." I'd rather not talk about that last bit, but she is rather versed in the art of contortion and pressure point needles. He explains what happens in depth because he trusts Karma enough at this point. And Karma is shocked that a mother could do that to her son just because she wanted a daughter. He says, "Yeah, but it's pretty easy to get over." And when he got the 3 that's when that's when his teeth got sharp. Yeah. It's sort of like his eyes giving his body a natural weapon. And as they're walking, they come across a cat with oddly slit eyes. No, they come across a snake. Nagisa looks down as the snake hisses at him and bares its fangs. Now, Nagisa, he feels his favorite animal is the snake. So, He quickly identifies the snake as a copperhead, a very venomous snake and deadly. But he also knows I don't know if this is true or not, but he also knows that copperheads bear their fangs as a sign. Alright, I'm back, and he knows, this isn't true at all, but he knows that when a copperhead bares its fangs, it's either a sign of territorial dispute, honor, or mating. So either if it doesn't get a reply with an equal response or greater, it'll attack. Now, Nagisa dips down, and with the 3 tamale sharingan, what he does is, he says, "Hello there," as he opens his mouth, and fangs grow. Karma doesn't see this, but fangs grow. As the copperhead's eyes start to lower, as it's now under a genjutsu. Nagisa with the 3 tamale can also slightly control people's actions and put them under genjutsu. Not very high tier, but he can use genjutsu. Ninjutsu and taijutsu are off ninjutsu's off limits to him. He cannot produce unnatural phenomenon. So like he can use taijutsu, but he can't use 8 gates dragon kick or some shit like that. No. He can use taijutsu for like moves. God, just stop giving me notifications. So he can use like, it could be like he can't use flying lotus, leaf kick, rock lee. No. But he can use it for like fighting. So yeah, as the copperhead closes his mouth, Nagisa does as well. As he reaches his hand out, Karma says, "Don't, I bite you." Nagisa looks up and says, "It's fine." Karma notices his eyes were kind of slit, in an oval shape. Not his pupils, not as round as they usually are. But as the copperhead slithered on his arm and said, "You're a cutie, aren't you?" Karma says he is. Nagi says no, she is. Karma says, "Oh, how did you know?" It's a gift. Cold-blooded animals and all. Karma, kind of confused by this, says okay. And they spend the next hour hanging out at the next arcade. Nagisa let the snake go. And Karma says, "So what time you gotta be back?" "What?" It's kinda late. It's 8 o'clock. Nagisa says, "What? I'm supposed to be home by 8:30. We're like 7 miles away." I know how to wire a car. Nagisa looks at him and says, "We're not gonna steal a car, but I gotta go." Karma says, "You won't make 7 miles in a half an hour." And he says, "Wanna bet? Here's my number." As he throws him a card and says, don't ask too many questions. Call me in a half an hour." As Nagisa starts running, he thinks to himself, "With how hard I've worked, this will be easy." As he runs through an alleyway and jumps side to side on the wall buildings, and he's doing parkour on the roofs. As he comes to a wide intersection, he thinks, "I don't know." But then he sees the snake, and the snake says, "You can make it." You're probably wondering how the snake can talk. It can't, but because genjutsu, he can now read the minds of animals. So he says, "Either I'm hallucinating or you have faith in me." As he winds up his jump, as he runs. And as he's running, he jumps, and he gets to the corner and he jumps. He has like he's about to do a cannonball, he has his arms about up to his knee, ready to brace himself for the fall. As there's a slight glow of electricity coming off him, as he feels a backlash of lightning as he bolts to the end of the roof. You're probably wondering, he can't use ninjutsu though. This isn't ninjutsu. This is his leftover kinetic energy, which does use up stamina. And this is an unnatural phenomenon. It's him exerting his energy. I know what you're thinking. I thought he wasn't going to use this, but I thought it'd be cool. But in a flash, he becomes a bolt of lightning and he reforms on the roof. He's thinking he can't breathe, and he's thinking what happened, what just happened. As he calms down, he thinks, okay, I blacked out for a second. It must have been the same thing. It must have been because I had 3 to my way today. As he says, still gotta get home though. And he does parkour. By the way, let's say that the distance between the road's width is about 25 meters, which is probably at least, I'm gonna say 50 yards, 25 meters or 50 yards, depending on where you're watching this. So yeah, he made that jump. Remember, Tomoe ups his strength, speed, and reflexes, and he's naturally intelligent, like supercomputer intelligent. But he dumps himself down that way. His mom doesn't expect much of him, so he's currently in E-class. But his mom tried to get him to jump up grades. The school does not accept cash bribes. Yeah. The teacher tried to bribe the teacher too, but the teacher said, he's not smart enough to be in my class. My class grades would drop way too much if I took that bribe. So yeah. And he makes it home in 29 minutes. His mom says, where were you, young lady? As she sees what he's wearing, she says, Nagisa, darling, where are your clothes? He looks down. I'm sorry. And he says, I'm sorry, mother. His mother brings him in the house, and I'm gonna say that he dropped his phone on the roof, and the snake has it. The snake gained a slight intelligence because of the genjutsu, so the snake's keeping track of his phone. Yeah. His mom burns his clothes, the ones that Kramer got him, and she beats the living shit out of him for 7 hours. And then the next day, he goes to school. So yeah, the next day he goes to school. Kramer says, hey bud, so where's the clothes I got you? He says, hey Mr. Akabane, sorry, but sorry Karma, my mom burned them when she saw me wearing them. I forgot to change before I got back, so I had one of those nights. He says, oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hold you up. And yeah. So they walk. Karma offers to give Nagisa a walk home. He says, sure. Karma walks Nagisa home, and on the way, that's because Nagisa's wearing his bra with pads, they're stopped by 3 guys. They say they're trying to get Nagisa to come with them, and Nagisa's playing it off like he is a girl because last time he said something he was a guy, he slipped up. Nagisa's playing it off with her like, I don't want to, I can't. And Karma beats the living shit out of him. This is where Karma gets his violent tendencies. This is where Karma gets his violent tendencies from. And his arrogance, because he protected Nagisa. Karma gives Nagisa a walk home as he realizes if he wants to protect his friend, he has to take classes. And so, for the next 6 years, Karma got Nagisa classes with him every day. Every day on Thursday, every day Saturday through Thursday is till from 4 to 7 o'clock. They have judo, karate, and taijutsu and kickboxing. They also have boxing. Now you're probably wondering, how did they fit all this in? 6 years. And on Fridays he has from 4 or 4:15 to 7 o'clock. Now, at the places where Nagisa mastered all of them. Now, at the places where, and he is considered the strongest fighter even amongst the adults. Like, he was asked to fight in tournaments. Like, world tournaments. But he refused because his mom would find out. His mom doesn't know he took classes. And let's say that Nagisa fought in 3 tournaments. The Black Market Boxing Championship of the world, where people were allowed to use brass knuckles and shit like that. He fought in that, barehanded, no things, and he was fighting against a 500-pound man. Oh yeah, and Nagisa's nickname in the underground is called Dollface it's called Dollface with the red eyes. Because he always color dresses as a girl when he gets in the ring. He's a guy. So yeah. He was fighting a 500-pound man with fucking a bulletproof vest and football gear on. And what he did was, he nearly fucking ripped out his jugular with his teeth. He bit down on his neck so hard that it drew blood. And after it drew blood, the 500-pound guys tried to start pulling off of him. Nagisa jumped back, and what he did was, he got behind his knee, where there was the least amount of fat, and he broke his leg. Then while he was grabbing for his leg, he snapped his arm, and then he stood up, with blood-red eyes, in the 3 tamale. Do you give up yet? So yeah, that's where he got his red eyes nickname from. Dollface is because he met the Yakuza, and the Yakuza confused him for a little girl. So that's where he got his nickname from, Dollface with red eyes. From that fight, he got 1,000,000 yen. I don't remember anything after the Yakuza days. So yeah, he is a master of those martial arts, and Karma is a master of Jiu-Jitsu. He took a long time to master Jiu-Jitsu and kickboxing. And in the meantime, Nagisa took MMA. Because of his sharingan, he was a fast learner. And yeah. And now we go to the day. Now we go about a month before Kuro Sensei arrives. Now, what happens is, Karma and Nagisa are in an alley, spraying graffiti on the wall. As this is their school. As 3 students, they're about A class. Nagisa's currently in D class, so he's one step below E. And what happens is, oh my god, what happens is the 3 guys, I don't remember if it was 3, but the 3 guys walk up and say, "Hey, what are you doing?" These guys are B class. Now, B class realizes Nagisa and Karma are D class, and they smile. They pull out, they're baseball team members, so they pull out baseball bats and say, this is gonna be fun. As they start, they walk up to Nagisa and Karma and say, "We're gonna have some fun with you guys real quick. Hope you don't mind." One of them takes a swing at Nagisa's head. So they pull out bats and take a swing at Nagisa's head. Karma tries to block, but with his arm, if the hit landed, it would fracture his arm. But he tried. He tries to block with his arm. Nagisa has 3 Tamale activated, and he ducks. He puts his hand under his arm, grabs the bat, and then yanks it out of his hand. As he beats the living shit out of all 3 of them, to where they're bloodied and tattered, and they go to the principal. Karma's expelled for 2 weeks, Nagisa's expelled for 3 months. And on the day of the arrival is the day he walks in on the class with his red eyes. Now, Nagisa has learned to keep. Karma brings Nagisa clothes and tells him where they are on his phone. So, yeah. So that's how he's wearing his jacket. And that's how he says, "Hey, Teach. Sorry I'm late. I had to change." Yeah, so as that happens, and that's how we're gonna end this. That was Nagisa's backstory. Hope you liked it, and I know the contortionist bit was the contortionist puncture needle bit was a little bit much, but I felt like it was necessary for his backstory. But thank you. Join the Discord. I will post new what ifs, and when I'm uploading what ifs there, it's in the description of our channel. And yeah, so like, subscribe, comment, and see y'all next time, demons. Goodbye.